Hi guys! So marami ang may misconception na mahirap daw mag-apply ng housing loan sa panahon ngayon. But you know, it's actually very easy if you are familiar with your options. So for today, we're gonna know more about your real estate financing options or Home Loan 101. So after this, you'd be able to learn more about home loan, the types of home loan, the different loan purposes, and the timeline of loan processing. So let's dive right into it. So first things first, what is home loan? Home loan is a type of loan that you use to purchase or construct a house. It's simply borrowing money from the bank or any lending institutions like Pag-ibig to be paid with a certain interest over a period of time. So yung property purchased by the borrower is held as collateral by the lending institutions. So what are the different loan purposes? Most people think that home loan is only limited to purchasing a brand new house and lot or a brand new condo from a developer, but there's so much more than that. You can also purchase a property from a private seller or a private individual like a pre-owned house and lot or a resale, or even purchase from banks acquired assets or foreclosure. Pwede mo rin tong ipasok sa home loan. Then we have house construction loan, and you can use this loan to cover the cost of your house construction. And similar to this is the home improvement loan. You can use this loan to renovate or improve your house. So if you have an existing loan but you want to trade that loan at palitan ng bago, you can go for refinancing of loan. So if you find a lower interest rate sa ibang bangko, or you suddenly decide na you want a longer term, you can apply for a refinancing. You can also apply for a home equity loan. So it simply means that you can borrow money from the bank using your home's current value as security for the money you need. So you can use this money for paying your tuition or buying furnitures. And similar to this is the home equity line of credit, which is a revolving fund that you can use for renovation and other things. It acts like a credit card. So you will only pay for the amount that you have consumed. Marami din ang hindi nakakaalam that you can combine these loan purposes. For example, you can purchase a lot and you can do construction of a residential house at the same time. And you can also do purchase of residential unit, pwedeng condo, pwedeng house and lot, pero may kasama na siyang home improvement. Or if you have an existing loan at gusto mong patayuan na bahay, you can do refinancing of an existing mortgage, specifically a lot loan, with construction of a residential unit. So are you eligible for a housing loan? First and foremost, you have to have an income. Whether you're employed, self-employed, or freelancer, you have to be able to show that you have an income. And next is your age. You have to be an adult, of course, but not more than 65 years old at the time of the application and not more than 70 at the date of maturity for Pag-ibig. For Pag-ibig, of course, you have to be a member, but if you're not a member yet, you can be an instant member. You just have to pay the 24-month savings in lump sum. So next is your credit history. Importante ito because if you're self-employed or a freelancer, they will really look into your loans, your current loans, and your canceled cards. So in Pag-ibig, if you have canceled housing loans or foreclosed property, you can be blacklisted. So what is the process of getting a home loan? There are actually different ways to approach this. So if you're going to buy a brand new house and lot or a condo unit from a developer, they mostly have tie-ups now with banks and they are accredited with Pag-ibig as well. Pag ganito, yung developer is accredited with banks or lending institution, the processing is easier this way. But if you're buying a pre-owned house and lot, you have to do what we call individual filing, or you have to apply by yourself. So you have to get the copy of the title from the seller, the tax declaration, and other documentary requirements. So it's kind of a hassle. First is to know your credit score. Most Filipino home buyers do not know that credit score can be requested. You can either request it from CIC or Credit Information Corporation or other credit bureaus available in the Philippines. So once you get your credit score, you would be able to know if you are low risk or high risk in terms of borrowing money. So after this, you may proceed with your chosen bank for your pre-evaluation. So there are websites like this with Security Bank, where you can submit your initial information and they can pre-qualify you. So you can go to different banks' website, and even Pag-ibig, you can check out their loan calculators. So in this way, you would be able to know how much you can borrow based on your income and based on your preferred property. So speaking of how much you can borrow, so the first thing that you have to consider is your actual need. So if the property you like is, let's say, 4 million, how much money do you have to pay for it? If you only have, let's say, 1 million, then it means you'll be borrowing 3 million from the bank. So your actual need is 3 million. So the next is your income. So before, Pag-ibig used to base the approval on the net disposable income. So it means they have to less the benefits like yung SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and the net becomes smaller. But now, they only based it on your GMI, or your gross monthly income. So it's very simple. The rule of thumb is 30% of your gross monthly income for banks and 35% for Pag-ibig. So let's say, for instance, your gross monthly income is 50,000 pesos. So your estimated monthly amortization should not exceed 15,000 for banks and 17,500 for Pag-ibig. So if your desired property is way above your budget, you can always get a co-borrower. So next is your loan to value ratio. So it doesn't mean if the appraised value of your property is 4 million, you can loan up to 4 million. So it depends pa rin sa LTV. Banks' loan to value ratio is around 80% for house and lot and 70% for lots. So you will need to shell out money for the difference, which we all know is the equity. So if you guys are planning to get your first dream home, you need to submit requirements like an ITR, or income tax return. So whether you're a freelancer, content creator, licensed professional, or business owner, Tagzumo can help you file and pay for your taxes. And you can do it in minutes lang, no hassle, and you don't need to go out. So sign up for a free account through the link in my description. Use code Chris to get 10% off any subscription plan. So speaking of where to submit your requirements, what are the different lending institutions available in our country? Siyempre, meron tayong SSS, GSIS, and NHMFC, or National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation, and syempre our country's strongest and most profitable government financial institution, which is Pag-ibig. And syempre meron din tayo, we have the private and government banks na nag-offer ng housing loan. So, what are the differences between these lending institutions? So, you can check out my vlog last year about Pag-ibig versus bank. But of course, I have to update that for 2021. But just to give you an overview, first, in terms of application, with Pag-ibig, you have to be a member with 24 months contribution to avail a home loan. So unlike sa banks, no membership is needed. So when it comes naman to interest rate, if we look at the history, Pag-ibig is consistently low with their interest rate. Banks now are also offering very low. I think ang BDO is offering 5.28% for 3 years fixing. But the one who gets the most benefit, of course, in Pag-ibig are the minimum wage earners, because they have an exclusive interest rate of 3% per annum. So it's pretty low. In terms naman kung gaano kahaba ang loan term, Pag-ibig is of course the longest. But some banks can extend their loan term hanggang 25 years. As for the processing time of loan approval, most banks are pretty fast. In fact, some of the banks are advertising that you can get approved as fast as 5 days. So with Pag-ibig naman, they have a timeline of more than 2 weeks up to the release of notice of approval. Sa tagal din, it really depends. Kagaya ngayon, it's pandemic. Some banks I've experienced last year, they have to quarantine the documents. So that's going to, take some time also. So speaking naman of requirements, medyo mahaba ang requirements if I'm going to discuss. So I will just put a link in the description box, and some banks may ask you for additional, more requirements and different requirements depending on your loan purpose. So for example, if it's a construction loan, they will need additional requirements like bill of materials, building plans, and so on. Pag refinancing naman, they would need a statement of accounts of your previous loan. So it's different depending on the loan purpose that you will apply for. So the basics, we have the appraisal fee. So it's different from bank to bank, but it ranges around 4,000 to 6,000 pesos. But some banks waive their appraisal fee if the developer has a tie-up with the bank or the bank has a promo. So with Pag-ibig, it's lower. So for some bank charges, you have to pay an estimated of 3% of the loan amount. So it will include insurance premiums, title registration fees, and it has to be paid prior endorsement of bank guarantee. And with any housing loan, you have to secure an MRI, fire insurance as protection in the events of natural calamities and fire and death of the borrower. So with Pag-ibig, it's already incorporated with your monthly amortization, and they have a newly improved MRI that cuts off your cost down to almost 50%. So if you're planning to apply for a home loan, I think this is the best time to do it. There are very low interest rates. It's being offered by banks and Pag-ibig. But before you do it, I would also have to say that when you are choosing a loan term, make sure that you stick to your job or you have job security during the whole duration of your loan. This is the main reason that there's so many foreclosures this pandemic. You should also have a contingency plan in case something happened. And lastly, if you have a dream property or a dream house, just go for it. There's nothing wrong with borrowing money, but the key really is to educate yourself so you can make wise decisions, so you can use your home loan to your advantage. Sabi nga nila, you have to take control of your debt and don't let it control you. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Chris, and I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Bye!